When reading the Bible, it's not a good idea to just pick a chapter and read a few of the verses on their own without reading the context. If you want to cook a good meal, would you go to the recipe book and pick out step 3 without bothering to do steps 1 and 2 first? No, of course not. You need to understand the context both before and after for the recipe to make sense. And it's exactly the same with the Bible. But for some reason, maybe because everything has a chapter and verse number, it's easy to read individual verses without bothering to read the context. But this often has bad results. Jeremiah 29:11, one of the most famous verses in the Bible, says this: "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." And it's a verse that finds its way onto many fridge magnets and is understood by many to be a guarantee of prosperity. You may have heard of the prosperity gospel, that God will definitely give wealth and success to people if they have enough faith. But this verse is not a promise to every individual believer that they will have a happy and successful life. In context, this is a promise that God has the long-term well-being of the nation of Judah in mind, even though that nation would experience 70 years of exile in Babylon. It's kind of precisely the opposite of what many assume when reading it out of context. So whenever you're reading the Bible, pay attention to the verses before and after. Read the whole passage and the whole book, and you'll understand the context so much more.